one of the great joys of having children is to get to share with them the shows and movies and books that you absolutely loved and seeing how they react to them. They don't always like them, but my husband and I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old, and we found that Parks and Rec is the perfect show to share with them, because not only is it quirky and fun and delightful, but it also has some really interesting lessons that we need to work through right now in this globally combative time that we're in. It's no secret that we're in a very strange time where people feel like the person who doesn't think like them cannot possibly be a good person. And this is global. It's the US, but it's in Europe, it's in Latin America, the Middle East, everywhere. So this show brings us an understanding of the other as someone who you can work with, even if you don't agree with them. And it's right at its heart, right? The motor behind the show is our protagonist, Leslie Knope, and she is a big optimist, can-do, loves people, unstoppable, Democrat, is always out to get things done. She's hyper and you can't stop her. And then the second protagonist is Ron Swanson, who is a libertarian. He works for the government, but only because he sees it as a great way to stop the government from doing things, and he does not want to get things done unless it's working on wood. And he finds people rather scary. He wants to keep them at arm's length. He's secretive, and these two people, who at their core are completely different people, they manage to be, Ron would say they're not best friends, but I think Leslie would say they are. She has other female best friends, but she has a male best friend, and it is Ron. And this show not only portrays this friendship, but it looks at all the conflicts and all the ways in which they can resolve these conflicts in a way that, yes, it's funny and engaging and very well written and beautifully acted, but it also then allows you to have conversations with your kids about how these different philosophies are not coming from a place of evil. Neither one of them is coming from a place of evil. These are just different viewpoints, and you can then get together and really understand the other person, and then you might find harmony, and that's exceedingly beautiful. So that's something that really helps move this show along. Another reason that you want to share Parks and Rec with your kids, especially now, is that, again, across the world, we feel like governments are failing us, and like there's a lot of corruption and lack of kindness, and people on the other side are terrible. But the characters in this show all work for the government, and they give their heart and soul to making the world better. So the show portrays government work as something that is truly public servants, right? They are serving the public. The public is hilariously not wanting to be served, but the people who are doing the work do. And I think as we think about how to raise children who are going to be good humans and civic-minded humans who are forgiving and understanding and who vote, this is a show that really helps them through a very fun and delightful sort of storytelling style look at the work that goes into government, both the frustrations, because my God, they're very frustrating, the storylines that they work through, but also what you can achieve and how meaningful it can be for you, for your friends, and then for the community at large. And the other reason that I think Parks and Rec is a fantastic show to share with your kids is that the love, romantic love, within the show is absolutely beautiful, right? So we have Leslie and Ben, and they fall in love, and they are such a good couple for each other. They complement each other. They work through all sorts of very difficult situations, running for office, sometimes almost running for office against each other. They help work through all the failures that they undergo. But at the end of the day, these are two people who are completely committed to each other, even though they're different, but their similarities bring them together. And the favorite couple of my kids, and probably every kid that has watched this, is Andy and April, right? She is completely obsessed with darkness and horrible things and all the things that are morose and terrible. And he is like a child, like a grown, delightful child who just is not the brightest bulb, but his absolute joy in life just gets him by, and you just love him and love him and love him. And you'd think that these two characters would never be able to work. But from the moment they fall in love, which is like season 2, at the end of season 2, these two characters find a way to be delighted and delightful in each other and with each other. And that, I think, is, again, a wonderful thing to show to kids at a time when marriages, they all know the stats, right? 50% of marriages fail, and so on and so forth. And, they're likely to have divorces and all sorts of relationships falling apart around them. And this show portrays long life romance as a really wonderful thing to engage in. And the last reason that I think Parks and Rec is just the show to teach our kids how to be good, positive people is that it's a show that's really compassionate and generous towards its very funny side characters, right? The town is full of hilarious, whimsical, ridiculous characters, but the show over its 7 seasons keeps bringing them up, and you love them because they have funny personalities and they have great storylines. So Ethel Beavers, who is old and grumpy, but my God, does she get around with Bill Murray, as it turns out. And, she becomes a character that anytime you see her, you're just so delighted. But if you saw that person walking down the street, you wouldn't think about everything that she has to offer. There's Kyle, the guy who is always getting his shoe shined, and everybody treats him poorly, but it doesn't matter because he's always like, oh, all right. And anytime he shows up, it's delightful. And he doesn't show up so much after Andy's shoe shining business ends, but when he comes, you remember Kyle and you love Kyle, even though, again, he's not a very shiny person. And of course, my kid's favorite, Orin, the vampire, who just completely, if there's one character that discombobulates Leslie Knope, who will not be discombobulated by anybody, it's Orin, which is very funny because, he has very few lines, but those lines are uttered with such delight and such wonder and such weirdness. So if you want your kids to look at the people around them and look at them with interest and curiosity and understand that there are stories behind everybody and that those stories might be interesting to investigate, Parks and Rec is your show. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will let me know. Have you seen Parks and Rec? Are you interested? Have you seen it with your kids? Have you not? What are your thoughts? Look at this. It started raining real hard right as the video ended. It's a very Leslie Knope moment because we're going to make it all optimistic and wonderful. So please subscribe and let me know your thoughts, and don't get wet in the metaphorical or real rain.